If salt is so important and has been around for centuries, how can it do me any bad? Well, it can if you have too much of it. How much is too much? We'll answer that important question at the end of the video. For now, let's take a look at the list of signs you are eating too much salt.
Well, look at you. You're looking as healthy as can be. How was rehab?
So you're not shooting junk, right? Fuck no. I'm completely clean and sober.
Are you now free of this substance that destroyed your life, tore apart your family, cost you your livelihood, put you in jail multiple times? How does it feel to be free from its grasp and no longer require it? You guys have made great progress and I'm very proud of you, but I'm sad to say that Daddy Frit's in a bit of trouble. He needs some money, and so I decided to put out some more pony salt and, you know, have a little bit as a celebration for your progress.
I don't know, I've never done that before. Fucking pussy.
Sit down. Come on, light one, have a beer. Take a line of this pony salt, and let's get on with the video, shall we? The week started off strong with us getting the chance to celebrate the misfortune of a Hall of Famer PlayStation fanboy, jtechtv himself, who after 12 long years of somehow being able to duck a much warranted suspension on Twitter, finally met the fate he's been avoiding for so long.
Get what you fucking deserve!
I mean, you gotta hand it to Twitter. They finally did the right thing. After countless unwanted dick pics being sent to women who are very much unimpressed by jtecht's chode, Twitter decided to finally take down this creep. Oh, what's that? Twitter didn't do it for those reasons? Well, why did Twitter take down jtecht then? I was suspended after 10 plus years on Twitter due to a copyright claim from Sony Music. If anyone is saying I was suspended for any other reason, they're lying. 12 long fucking years this guy spent sucking off Sony, worshipping them, kissing them at the feet even though they never asked him to do so, nor even offered him any money for it. Most people have a hobby. They like going hiking, fishing, partaking of certain substances. jtecht's hobby is worshipping Sony and praising them. But then it all starts to make sense. Just like Black Bond, who on Twitter himself said, "I don't eat pussy, joke on you." It must be the same thing for most PlayStation fanboys like jtecht. Since their hobby is worshipping and praising PlayStation, there's not much wiggle room to get any pussy. I mean, if you really care about your virginity, if you really don't want to have that second child with the wife, your best bet would be to put on a PlayStation beanie. Far more effective than not showering for 2 weeks. And that's probably jtecht's entire problem. The man suffers from the thirst. No pussy's coming his way for a very, very long time, so he takes a shot at sending dick pics to women, hoping that at least one of them will compliment what's a very flaccid and average looking penis. Oh, but it doesn't end there, my children. This story fucking continues, because you see, Insomniac themselves have a Discord. Yes, that Insomniac, the ones that made Spider-Man. And it turns out that our lip-smacking friend here so happens to have been a part of this Discord. But unfortunately, it seems his YouTube and Twitter behavior follow him wherever he goes, because it turns out that even Insomniac knows who jtecht is and knows about his history of sending unsolicited dick pics to women who never asked. So they went out of their way to personally ban him from their own Discord.
He's really hurt. I think he broke his leg.
I said ha ha!
At this point, there's not much else you can do. It's indefensible. Guy can't stop flashing his dick wherever he goes. And he seems to think that because he's a loyal supporter of PlayStation, he can use their music in his videos because, you know, it's me, jtecht. You guys know me. Well, unfortunately, Jay, it seems that they do know you, and it's not for good things. It's better if you just kick that chair below your feet and let it all end soon. When you're disliked by the very corporation you love with all your heart, I don't know how you can manage to live. I mean, this is everything for you. Sony is literally everything for you. And yet after all of this, the first thing you'll do is go straight to YouTube and trash Xbox and not PlayStation. Reminds me of that time Crap Gamer's PS5 bricked on him and he still decided to make anti-Xbox videos. Fucking losers. But not as big as the losers who are crying over Game Pass. A few years into this experiment and it's clear as day that PlayStation fanboys are simply jealous. They don't want people to say anything nice about an Xbox product because God forbid Microsoft goes out of their way to make something that people want. They're not supposed to do that. Only Sony can do that, which is why we won't complain or bitch and whine about PS Now, even though on principle it's the same thing as Game Pass, just 10 times shittier. But you know, it's not the first time, nor do I expect it to be the last time, that PlayStation fanboys go this hard on Game Pass.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I don't know what this tweet is trying to tell me. BG, are you saying that Game Pass is just that good of a value that people realize they don't always have to spend $20, $40, or $70 on a game? How is that a problem exactly? Doesn't that sound like a good thing? Is it such a bad thing that I took one look at Maneater and said fuck you to the $40 it cost and instead downloaded it on Game Pass? Do you know what $40 can get me? $40 can get me an eighth of some really good ass weed. And I'm not talking about that Reggie shit you guys smoke in the States that still won't legalize it. If Game Pass is indeed brainwashing people into believing no game is worth the price it's at, then I congratulate Microsoft on achieving something that Sony could never do. As a matter of fact, I would say what Sony is doing is 10 times worse because they're brainwashing people into believing video games are even worth $70. And the funniest part about that is they somehow think that it makes them morally superior to someone who chose to just rent the game. You're not better because you bought a game. The developers probably don't even know that you made that decision over getting it on Game Pass where they still get money for the game. So why don't you go back to doing what you're best at, Broken Games? And that's being unable to snap a disc in half. Or maybe you are all trying to brainwash people into believing that AA games, remasters, and 6-hour adventures are worth $70?
Except nobody is actually trying to convince nobody of that.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Buying a game at 70 is your choice, and that isn't trying to force or convince anyone else.
I have no idea how Broken Games has made it this far in life. I'm pretty sure his wife still has to tie his shoes for him and wipe his ass too. He might just be playing catch up for all I know. But how exactly can he put out a tweet like this and not realize that people using Game Pass is also a choice? Nobody is forcing anyone to use Game Pass. People who are convinced by Game Pass are those who have tried it, like it, and stood with the service. You know, as much as I like Alex Jones, I'm pretty sure even he couldn't come up with a conspiracy theory as to how Game Pass is using telepathy or some bullshit to force people to use it. It's simply that good of a service. Stop saying true things! Oh god, it's Dreamcast guy. Why? Why?
You suck!
I love Game Pass, but I feel like no one wants to buy indie games anymore. Everyone says, I will wait for Game Pass, and it's leaving a lot of smaller good games in the cold. What the fuck are you talking about, Dreamcast guy? How is that leaving a lot of good smaller games in the cold exactly? All Game Pass has done is given these games more exposure to people. The amount of people playing indie and AA games has increased, not decreased. How the fuck do you even come up with a concern like this? I sort of agree, but I'd have to see actual statistics to back up that feeling. Yeah. The problem is that I can't even think of how to track it. Technically, most games fail. There are thousands of games a year released. Would be hard to actually calculate quality indies that bomb. Do you just tweet for the sake of tweeting, Dreamcast guy? How the fuck are you coming to the conclusion that Game Pass is leaving a lot of games in the cold if you have no statistics to even refer to or back up those claims? Your default position is to believe it without researching. Okay, we're done with you. I can now see why Griffin Gaming makes a shit ton of videos on you. You really just passionately rant about shit without thinking twice. When games like The Ascent generate $5 million in their first weekend, I'm inclined to believe that you're just full of shit and don't know what you're talking about.
You seem as if you like to talk. I like to let people talk who like to talk. It makes it easier to find out how full of shit they are.
I don't care how many game boxes you have behind you, or all the plushies and toys you have on your shelf that prove how much of a gamer you are. I'd rather you did a little research instead of just making videos and being passionate about shit. Game Pass is a good service, alright? That's all I can say. It's not going to save video games, it's not going to revolutionize the industry, it's just a nice option to have when you don't feel like buying shit. When did this ever become a problem for gamers? Since when is having more options to play your video games suddenly a bad thing? These motherfuckers would rather Sony screw them over in order to win some stupid console war than be provided some pretty good services, quality products at fair prices. Shit's gone so backwards. Do you ever see people who buy movies shame others for not buying it day one when it comes out at full price instead of waiting for it to go in the $5 bin? In general, do you see people get upset at others for waiting for something to drop in price or be available on a streaming service? No, you don't see that shit because most people outside of the gaming community are pretty normal. Look, if people don't want to pay $70, hell, it doesn't even have to be $70. If they don't want to pay any price for a game at launch, that's why Game Pass exists. And it doesn't hurt anyone except for the fanboys that don't have that option. Face it, you guys are salty as fuck. I mean, why do you think this salt came out so pure today? I didn't even have to try. I didn't even have to dilute it. Shit came out perfect. You know what, Microsoft? Keep doing what you're doing. I don't know what it is, but it keeps generating all this easy money and ad revenue for me. Something tells me it just has to do with you doing good. As long as you do good, PlayStation fanboys get very upset, and then Daddy Fritz business blossoms. So don't stop. Everybody support Game Pass for the sake of creating more salt. And with that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe if you so choose to. Don't really give a fuck. And I'll be seeing you bitches in the next video.
Fritongo sucks ass.
But that was too soft.